guys, Verliet427 here, back with another video! Yeah, I don't know how she does it. Hey guys, it's Berryzem here. Yeah, I'll have to do another video about the name change, but anyway, we finally have part 2 of the collaboration with Verliet427. Okay, I did say it was going to be uploaded on a Tuesday, so I kept my word on that, but I just want to say thank you everyone so much for your patience, because I think I did say this would happen like in early May, and yeah, no. But yeah, it's here, you're here, it's awesome. For those of you who this may be your first video coming in, well, if that's the case, definitely I recommend go watch the first parts, both of mine and Verlie's portions of the line art, because it's amazing and there's epic commentary. Verlie has green screens. I mean, it's green screens. What can I say? Yeah. So another reason why this took so long, I have to admit, was I've never really colored a canvas this big before. And it's, you know, it's not Verlie's fault whatsoever. I actually, to be perfectly honest, confession time, I make my canvases, both digital and traditional, too small. Or I make my drawings too small. Like, it's to the point where you may notice in my first video with the line art that it looks a little pixelated at times. So a bit of advice, if you guys notice that your digital art looks kind of pixel-ish and you want the lines to be smoother, it could be that maybe your canvas is too small. That's one of the things I've had to learn over time, and I'm still learning, because my canvases on average are about like 1 to 2,000 by 3,000 pixels, while this canvas, I believe, was 4,000 by 6,000-ish. So, yeah, I underestimated how long that would take, and that's just one of the few cons that comes with having a bigger canvas, because it's also a matter of health and taking care of your wrist and your hand, because when you're doing such fine details and you have such a tiny canvas, it's a bit more stressful on your wrist and hand. So you'd have to either take a lot more breaks, or you could potentially injure yourself much quicker. So you want to draw with your whole arm. Yeah, and I think the line art Verlie did is just so gorgeous, so gorgeous. It was really easy to work with, even though I was saying it took a while, to the point where I had to actually cut out the base coloring. I think that was just because I wanted to take my time with this and I didn't want to rush through it. So I took a lot of pauses and you'll notice I'll keep zooming out and then back in, because I want to be able to change the canvas and make sure it's turning out the way I want. But yeah, it really, Neptune, I have to say, was my favorite in this, because I am a stickler for aquas and blue-greens. So yeah, her hair turned out really nicely, and I decided to, with my style, I've learned over time that I want to color with just different colors. Not, here, let me explain. It's rather, instead of using, when you have the color blue, instead of just using a darker shade of blue, I would move the color wheel a bit to make it more of a lavender or purple. And vice versa with highlights. Instead of just using a lighter shade of blue, I would move toward the green, or even a yellow green, to really make it stand out. And I think that was one of the things that really got me just falling in love with it. Pluto, on the other hand, I honestly have to admit I struggled a bit, because starting with her skin, you probably don't see it because, like I said, I deleted the base coloring portion. I struggled a bit with her skin because it either would look too yellow to me or it would look too red. So it was really kind of teetering back and forth somewhere within that orange to try and at least make it look sort of like her. But yeah, that was the only real struggle with the skin. The biggest struggle was coloring her fuku. Now, the color black is not very my favorite, or not very my, I don't even know. Let me rephrase that. I don't like lining my pictures usually with black because it's a very strong color, very bold color. And so if I were to color her skirt and collar like just stark black, it would kind of, you wouldn't even see the liner anymore, honestly. I don't know if you can quite see it with this still, but what I tried to do was use purple because that's a pretty dark color, and it still looked purple to me. And I felt like compared with Saturn, I don't know if it would look black. So I ended up going for like a really dark blue, and I tried to highlight with some blues and yellows. And I did eventually use just a little black, like barely, just for like the darkest of dark shadows. Um, and her hair was a bit tricky too, actually, because it's kind of weird. It's like her hair is black, but it also has green highlights. So yeah, in this picture, it doesn't quite look black, at least to me. It could be because I've been staring at it for at least 8 hours. So yeah, but it instead of trying to do the same thing with the skirt, I ended up going with blues, and because she has that green highlight, I kind of built on that and added some yellow green, or it at least looks yellow green. It's probably more like an aqua green, but somewhere along that line to give it more of a pop. And I really like how the hair turned out. I love how Verliet drew it. But yeah, I really like how that turned out in the end. Overall, on the whole picture, I think the weapons were the biggest test, because at least with Pluto's skirt, I had an idea for how to go about it, but with the weapons, I'm just like, I don't shade metal. And but what I did was I kind of stuck more with the original colors with the Silence Glaive, but with the Garnet Rod, I used some very saturated slightly, or no, I used very desaturated yellows and blues, and I tried to take the light source into account. Because you can see with the way I colored Neptune and Pluto, I used very blended slash painter style. Sorry if you hear a piece of paper rolling around. Just I took notes so I would make sure not to forget anything. I tried to blend quite a bit, and unfortunately with metal, you, at least in my experience, you can't really get away with that, or it looks too, it doesn't look like metal anymore when you blend it too much. So I'm like, really? How do you shade these? Senpai, please teach me. And she was helpful. She doesn't think she was. No, she was helpful. Basically she was saying that instead of, you have to refrain from blending, or you put the darkest color next to the lightest color to get that contrast going. Yeah. I don't know what she was talking about being conceited in her video with the liner. She wasn't conceited. No, no, no. Don't listen to her. No. She was so nice. And then she like spent most of the video just talking about me. And I'm like, okay, now, wait, who's the conceited one? Jeez. um, it's funny too. I've always admired how she's been so friendly. And of course, there's a police siren. Oh dear. I actually live close to a fire station, so I don't even know if you can hear that. Anyway, back to Verliet. um, I think we bonded over talking about a Target shopping cart. It just goes to show how random some of our conversations can be. And she was so friendly at the time, and now we're just, I think our silliness just, we fuel each other with it. It's probably why I hardly get anything done during streams anymore. But they're uber fun. Yeah, and then when I saw her coloring portion, I just like, I spazzed. I'll definitely show a picture of it at the end because speaking of streams, we in the last stream I did, we talked about how we would pose them, and I think after a while we both just wanted to kind of put them in there and have something. I think after it took so long, we were both just like, you know what? If it doesn't have a background, it's okay. It's okay. Because yeah, it took quite a bit of effort, but I think it's because we were doing our best. And yeah, because I love how bright her colors came out. I've always admired that about her art. Just, it's like, I don't know, it's like she's really brave with her colors. It's weird how that sounds, but yeah, I noticed, like, compared to mine, if you look at the final picture, you'll notice almost instantly how bright her colors are compared to mine. And yeah, I hope I can be that brave someday. I also love her line art. I've always also admired her line art because it's just so smooth and so bold, but it looks so darn good. Ah. And I think, honestly, that line art is really what provided the best foundation for me to color. I honestly do, because I'm looking at this like, wow, she put so much effort into this and it looks so darn good. I gotta bring my A game. So I think that's another reason why I took my time, because I wanted to try, I really wanted to do my best. And yeah, it was just such an honor. I want to say thank you so much, Burley, for letting me have this opportunity to collaborate with you. It was fun, frustrating, but fun. Frustrating in a good way. Yeah. And I think Neptune and Pluto turned out incredibly epic. And when Burley showed me the color picture, she's like, yep, this is awesome. Yeah. I'm not sure if there's much else to say. Let's see. I'm looking at my notes like, what else did I put? Can I gush more about her? um, yeah, just thanks again. Thank you everyone for watching these videos and leaving your supportive and kind comments. Much appreciated, much appreciated. Verlie and I agreed to have our videos up on Tuesday, so yeah, I don't know, depending on how the internet goes, because both of our internets, hers was shut off for a time, and then mine, it's a whole other story. But yeah, we're trying to get them both at the same time. We'll see. If her video is up, I will link it in the description, in the video, everywhere. I'll try. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. It was an awesome collab. If we ever do another one, well, really, you're gonna have to come up with the idea. uh, anyway, thank you guys so much, and until next time.